What if the Queen of Kind was actually the Queen of Recruitment? It's the question that's shaking Hollywood to its core, as Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi reportedly flee the country, leaving behind a trail of whispers that link them directly to the most notorious network in history. For years, Ellen stood as the face of daytime warmth, but behind that curated smile, allegations have surfaced suggesting a much darker role, one where she and Portia were allegedly not just guests on a private island, but active suppliers and recruiters for Jeffrey Epstein's operation. While Portia has remained eerily silent throughout these growing storms, her silence speaks volumes to those who know where to look. But if you've subscribed to this channel, you've already decided you aren't interested in silence. You are part of a community that refuses to look away when the elite try to run. And today, we are pulling back the curtain on why these two might be terrified of what's about to be leaked.
Ellen DeGeneres and her wife, Portia de Rossi, have reportedly fled the US, bound for the UK, after Donald Trump's landslide victory. Numerous publications are reporting the couple have left the United States permanently. There are also reports the couple have put their Montecito mansion on the market. Entertainment publication The Wrap has the exclusive story and said, Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Rossi have moved to rural England, put their Montecito estate on the market, and plan to never return to the United States, telling friends the election of Donald Trump was their primary motivation. Ellen DeGeneres has been a vocal Trump critic, so the move doesn't come as a surprise to most.
They're losing their minds.
She sounded so sincere, didn't she?
Very sincere.
Virtually choke on her words. But the best one for me is Ellen DeGeneres, who is, by the way, a very nasty person. I've had dealings with her in Australia.
Oh,
could I tell you some stories about that cow? But anyway, good riddance to her. But she was quite friendly with that P. Diddy bloke, wasn't she?
Well, this is why I say release the Diddy files.
Yeah.
Release the Diddy files. Come on, Donald Trump. We want to know whose name.
So maybe she's hightailing out of there before all that is thrown at her as well. But what a bunch of hypocrites. I wonder if
the latest firestorm ignited when reports of leaked audio from within the walls of a federal prison began to circulate. Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman currently serving a 20-year sentence for her role in the Epstein web, is reportedly in a state of absolute rage. For years, she played the loyal soldier, keeping the names of her high-powered associates tucked away in secret ledgers. But as the walls close in and her former friends enjoy their mansions while she sits in a cell, that loyalty has evaporated. Maxwell is reportedly furious that she is the only one facing the music, specifically pointing the finger at those in the entertainment industry who helped her source individuals for the operation. The rumors suggest that in this audio, Maxwell specifically names Ellen, detailing how the daytime host's massive influence and reach were used as a funnel. It's a chilling thought that a person with the power to make or break a career could use that leverage to lead vulnerable people into a trap. But as we're finding out, this rage might just be the catalyst that brings the entire house of cards down.
Leaked footage from Maxwell's deposition even shows her allegedly being questioned on her relationship with Ellen, to which Ghislaine said this.
Her stories have changed so many times about what happens, when it happens, how it happens, with different versions. And each time she speaks, there's a different version.
And that is from the documentary that's just aired in the United States. That's come just off the satellite. For more, we're joined by US broadcaster Cooper Lawrence to dissect it. What did you make of Ghislaine Maxwell?
It reminded me of Nobody Taught Me How to Curtsy and I Didn't Inhale. There was a lot of this evidence that came out during the trial that suddenly she's like, no, it's fake. I mean, during the trial, they showed her that photo and she said, yeah, that's me, that's my apartment, I recognize it.
But Maxwell's anger is only one piece of a much larger and more tragic puzzle. To understand why the panic is reaching a fever pitch, we have to look back at the shocking events of late 2022. Just as the first major waves of accusations surfaced regarding the toxic environment behind the scenes of Ellen's show, a tragedy struck that left the world reeling. Stephen Twitch, the high-energy, beloved co-executive producer and DJ for the show, was found dead. On the surface, the story was framed as a mental health crisis, but the details that emerged were baffling to those closest to him. Twitch reportedly left his home the day before he was found, taking an Uber to a motel only a mile away. He switched his phone to airplane mode, ensuring he was completely unreachable, and never left that room. Why would someone with so much to live for, who had just celebrated an anniversary, take such drastic and secretive steps? Some investigators of these elite connections believe Twitch knew far too much. As a producer, he saw the inner workings of Ellen's world, and rumors have persisted that he was ready to speak out. His sudden departure from this world happened right as the heat on Ellen reached an all-time high, leading many to wonder if his silence was orchestrated by people desperate to keep their secrets buried.
We're learning more tonight about the tragic side of Stephen Twitch Boss and the detailed steps he took to hide his plans. TMZ is reporting when Twitch left his home the day before his suicide, he took an Uber to a motel about a mile away. At the motel, he switched his phone to airplane mode so no one could reach him. The motel manager says he checked in under his own name and never left his room. We also now know that Twitch left a suicide note. Details have not been made public, but TMZ reports the note alluded to challenges Twitch had faced in the past. Entertainer Tyler Perry knows firsthand what that is like.
I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times because it was so dark. I thought the only way to make this better, this pain go away, is stay in my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best part of my life.
And the patterns of silence don't stop there. If we look at the history of those who have tried to bring the truth to light, we find a trail of coincidences that are nothing short of terrifying. Virginia Giuffre was the first major voice to connect the dots between the elite Hollywood and the Epstein network. She explicitly named names, including royalty and political heavyweights. But before her voice could reach its full volume in court, her life took a series of dark turns. In April of 2025, just weeks before a massive release of unsealed files, reports surfaced that Virginia had offed herself. This came on the heels of a mysterious hit-and-run accident where a driver struck her and vanished into thin air. Even more chilling was a tweet she sent out shortly before her passing, where she told her followers that she was in no way suicidal, and that if anything happened to her, it was the work of evil people trying to quiet her. Her posthumous memoir, Nobody's Girl, describes being trafficked to a prime minister and other untouchable figures. The fact that the most prominent witness against this network met such a tragic end just as she was gaining ground is a pattern we see repeated over and over again.
Walk me through this when you went to his house for the first time.
Okay. She took me over to the house. She waited downstairs. I just went up, gave him a massage. That was it. I mean,
she approached you to
yeah, she's like, oh, do you need to make any extra money? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, $200. He's this older guy, Palm Beach. He gets a lot of massages from girls. That was really it. That's all she told me.
Victims have talked about how they weren't sure who this guy was, but because Ghislaine seems so proper, surely it's got to be legit. Her posh upbringing and her accent gave this veneer of respectability. Coming from a woman, I think that was incredibly manipulative, and I think it was absolutely critical in Epstein's operation.
I'm their perfect type. Ghislaine grabbed one foot, I grabbed the other, and she said,
if you understand the grouping involved in what transpired in that room, paying her heftily.
Virginia Giuffre, the most prominent victim of the late convicted Jeffrey Epstein, took her own life on Thursday. This is just weeks after she made headlines for saying that she had days to live after she claimed to have been hit by a bus. A statement given to NBC News was quoted as such from the 41-year-old's family. It says, "It's with utterly broken hearts that we announce that Virginia passed away last night at her farm in Western Australia. She lost her life to suicide after being a lifelong victim of sexual abuse and sex trafficking." The New York Post says that Giuffre took legal action against billionaire financier Epstein in 2015, alleging that she was trafficked at age 16 after his ex-lover and convicted Madam Ghislaine Maxwell recruited her from her job as a locker room attendant at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. The mom of 3, according to the Post, also alleged that she was forced to have sex with disgraced Prince Andrew 3 times when she was 17, including at Epstein's Little St. James Island in New Mexico, and in Maxwell's London home, where a notorious photo of her with King Charles' eldest brother.
It's a harrowing read, and it'll make you feel uncomfortable, but these are the excerpts that stood out for me from the memoir written by the late Virginia Giuffre, which has just been released. In it, she describes being trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein to, quote, a man who raped me more savagely than anyone had before. And that's worth noting that in the US edition of the book, she described the man in legal filings only as, quote, a prime minister, and that he had repeatedly choked her until she lost consciousness and, quote, took pleasure in seeing me fear for my life. Giuffre doesn't name the Prime Minister or many of the other men that she writes about in this book. Her co-author, Amy Wallace, says it shouldn't be up to the survivors of abuse to out their abuse. It should be the authorities, which is why she's calling for the so-called Epstein files to be released. Giuffre does name Epstein and Prince Andrew, of course, who she says she had encounters with in multiple locations. And she also reveals some of the alleged tactics that Prince Andrew used when it became apparent that her story was going to get out.
This brings us to the Secret 25. Documents recently filed by prosecutors in the Maxwell case suggest that Maxwell didn't just have friends, she had deals. Allegations have surfaced that Maxwell cut a secret settlement with 25 high-profile celebrities in exchange for their total silence. The theory is that these individuals paid a massive price to have their names scrubbed from the public record. Critics have pointed out the timing of Ellen's show ending and her sudden disappearance from the spotlight aligns perfectly when Maxwell's legal team began discussing these secret settlements. If Ellen was indeed one of these 25, it would explain why she has been so desperate to pivot her image and eventually flee the country. But money can only buy silence for so long. As the public demands more transparency and the Diddy files begin to merge with the Epstein investigations, these secret settlements are starting to leak. The elite are realizing that there is no amount of money that can stop a whistleblower who has nothing left to lose.
Newly filed court document. Ghislaine Maxwell, the former associate of Jeffrey Epstein, she was convicted of trafficking minors, sentenced to 20 years in prison. She claims that 25 men, maybe friends, associates of the deceased financier, have been protected under secret settlements, secret deals, and that this information was not revealed to her during her trial. This is on top of what she claims are 4 other individuals, alleged co-conspirators, who were never charged. Obviously, I have thoughts. Is she telling the truth, particularly given her past, in light of what she's trying to do now? If this is true, number one, wow. And who are these people? What is a secret settlement? Can we ever find out? Can the public ever find out? So I'm made of questions. I'm bringing on an expert right now to tackle all of this.
After abusing these little girls, they would then stalk them for the rest of their life and continue to verbally assault them over the phone and just in person and anywhere that they could find them. They would follow these girls around for the rest of their life. Epstein's people continued to find her and would have tabs on her, calling her numbers to threaten her and continue to harass her for the rest of her life. She said that since the threats began, there have been 4 to 5 close calls where she was almost run off the road. Multiple cars, not just one, multiple.
While the legal battles rage on, many have turned their attention to the hidden in plain sight clues found in Ellen's own backyard. Those who study the symbolism of the occult have pointed to bizarre art pieces found in Ellen's home and even on her show's set. In various videos, Ellen can be seen standing behind art by Jean-Michel Basquiat, specifically pieces featuring skeletal figures and the 3-pointed crown. While many see this as high-end art, others point to its frequent use in rituals described by survivors of elite abuse. Even more disturbing is the set design of her show, which some claim was modeled after a specific temple found on Epstein's Little St. James Island. Why would a daytime talk show host incorporate such specific and controversial imagery into her brand? Then there are the spirit cooking connections. Photos have surfaced of Hollywood's biggest stars, including those in Ellen's inner circle, appearing to participate in bizarre art performances involving Marina Abramovich. These rituals often involve themes of blood and anatomy, masked as performance art, but to the community of truth seekers, they represent a signal of allegiance to a very dark set of values.
Symbolism will be their downfall. Or is it just art? And let me be the first to tell you, it's all connected. I mean, if you know, you know. But first, let's go back to that video of Ellen DeGeneres. When the camera turns, you can see the inside of her house. Now, see that picture right there? Well, if you pause it and look it up, it says evil thoughts with revenge right next to it. Here's another picture of Ellen in her house, and this is the picture behind her. Now, the thing I'm curious about is the letters on top of the picture. These look oddly similar to the letters Marina Abramovich writes out when she does spirit cooking. Remember the beginning of the video? It's all connected. And that person that was in all red is Lady Gaga, and she went to Marina Abramovich many times for teaching. But let's continue. This is another picture of Ellen in her home. She's cutting her mother's hair, but what is that picture above her head?
Number 2.
Nice. We could have done this here.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I was like, you know what? That's a good way to die. Yeah. They're not going to let me buy that fucking place. Look at it.
Oh, well, you know where that is too, right? It's a similar image to that, right?
No.
I know Jamie does.
What is it?
It's on the set of a famous talk show. It's now not on anymore.
Oh, Ellen? Was that Ellen?
Yeah.
Really?
Just look at the temple and then look at the
Let me see Ellen's background. Black.
Perhaps the most stomach-turning allegation involves an interview that was once laughed off as a joke. In an episode featuring Sandra Bullock, the two discussed a facial that they were obsessed with. They laughed as they described a procedure that involves microneedling a serum into the skin to stay young. When pushed on what the serum actually was, they claimed it was the discarded skin of a Korean baby.
You're obsessed with it. How many, did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do this?
Everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the
What are you pushing into the skin, Sarah? Sandra?
Sarah?
Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
You know, and he was a billionaire freakazoid. Yes. And part of his deal, he's in prison in jail up in Canada, waiting, charges all over the globe. But his deal was that he would allegedly impregnate young women in the Bahamas, where he had a huge home, and then have them get abortions and harvest their stem cells of the fetuses to inject in himself as the fountain of youth. And we get into this in that documentary. And was Epstein involved in that sort of activity? I don't know.
That's where, and again, we just have to look at what we have and know what we don't yet.
Yeah.
But it's a question.
Yeah, and
you
it's,
look at the
it's a
context of the
legitimate
jerky
question.
stuff.
Yeah, and when you look at what other billionaire guys have done, were they in context somehow?
As the pressure in California became too much, the focus shifted to New Mexico. This is where the actual Truth Commission comes into play. New Mexico lawmakers have officially moved to investigate what really happened at Epstein's Zorro Ranch. This sprawling property was more than just a home. It was a compound equipped with high-tech surveillance and rumors of underground facilities. The commission is looking for more than just documents. They are looking for physical evidence buried in the desert.
Can you list for me all the girls that you have met and brought to Jeffrey Epstein's house that were under the age of 18?
Check the Foreman Foundation.
I could only recall my family members that were there, and I could not make a list of anyone else because that never happened. But I can think of.
I'm talking about during the time that you were working for Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
Can you list all the girls that you found for Jeffrey Epstein that were under the age of 18 that you worked for him in any capacity?
Check the Foreman Foundation.
So I didn't find girls. I didn't look for them.
You choose the word.
Well, no, you don't choose the word. If you have a question, ask it.
List all of the girls that you met and brought to Jeffrey Epstein's home for the purposes of employment that were under the age of 18.
Check the Foreman Foundation.
I've already characterized what my job was, which was to find people, adults, professional people, to do the types of jobs that I listed before. Pool person, secretary, house person, chef, pilot,
But I'm talking about individuals under the age of 18, not adult persons, individuals under the age of 18.
I only looked for people, tried to find people to fill professional jobs in professional situations.
There are still many unanswered questions surrounding what went on at Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch property in New Mexico. And a group of lawmakers tasked with finding those answers say they're building the team to do it. News 13's Jessica Barron is live in the Newsplex with that story.
The Truth Commission was established during this year's legislative session to investigate Epstein's activities and ties in New Mexico. Democratic Representative Andrea Romero is one of the members of the commission and says she's confident about what they'll accomplish.
The Truth Commission is set up to bring justice to survivors, to get an official government record around what happened at the ranch.
A sprawling property in Santa Fe County, now infamous over allegations it may have been a hotbed of sex trafficking and abuse. The mystery surrounding what went on at Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch and who was involved has left the country demanding answers. That's why New Mexico lawmakers created the Truth Commission during this legislative session. Now, that group says they're currently building a team of legal experts to conduct their investigations. Representative Andrea Romero is one of the members of the Truth Commission. She says they've opened a request for proposals to hire legal experts who will comb through thousands of.
I'm heartened by the idea that having a full slate of folks working with us through this investigation, we're going to have things to report by the end of the year. The question is, if we need more time, going into the next session, can that be granted if needed?
The story of Ellen DeGeneres and the Epstein network is far from over. It is a tale of massive power, the betrayal of the public's trust, and a desperate scramble to hide the truth. From the airplane mode of Twitch boss to the rage of a silenced Ghislaine Maxwell, the pieces are finally starting to fit together. We are witnessing the end of an era where the elite could operate in the shadows with total impunity. As more files are unsealed and more audio leaks from the cells of the guilty, the world is finally waking up. Do you believe Ellen and Portia's move is just a lifestyle choice, or is it the ultimate admission of guilt? Is this the moment the Queen of Kind is finally exposed for who she allegedly was all along? The House of Cards is falling, and we will be here to document every single card as it hits the floor. Stay vigilant, because the truth doesn't stay buried, it just waits for the right time to surface.